The Philadelphia 76ers have been in a lot of trade rumors, especially with the Toronto Raptors and the Sacramento Kings. Now, we all know that the rumors include Kyle Lowry and Nemanja Bjelica. However, I don't think you're going to be able to trade for those guys since Nemanja isn't really that valuable and Kyle Lowry, someone they can realistically get. They don't have that many assets, and when they want to give their valuable assets, you start to question if they're really overpricing the price for Kyle Lowry in terms of giving up assets. But in today's video, we're going to talk about 5 potential trades that I can see the Philadelphia 76ers actually pulling up in the trade deadline. What's up, guys? It's your boy Obsidious back with another video. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss daily videos. That way, let's begin. Now, why are the Philadelphia 76ers wanting to trade for a star level player? Since they're the number 1 team in the East, a great defensive team and a great offensive team, they got already 2 potential all-stars in Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. Probably you could also throw in Tobias Harris. That's how good he's been playing this season. And also have key role players in their team, such as Dwight Howard, Seth Curry, Danny Green, Tyrese Maxey, and Matisse Thybulle. Well, the answer is really simple: to win a championship. Now, isn't every team's goal to win a championship? Yeah, sure. But right now, not a lot of teams are taking the Philadelphia 76ers as potential champions because you got the Brooklyn Nets, you got the Milwaukee Bucks, you got the Los Angeles Lakers, the Clippers, heck, you can say the Jazz. They're not choosing the Philadelphia 76ers, which is for a good reason. I mean, would you really take the Sixers over the Bucks, over the Nets, over the Lakers, the Clippers? It's a really hard choice to make, you know? Like, it's close. I'm not saying you're not going to give them a 7-game series, but it's going to be really close and they won't be. But if they have a star player in their team, an extra star player, they're going to fill that gap that could have made them the champions of 2021. So let's explore these 5 trades. The first trade on the list is going to be Victor Oladipo and Ben McLemore to the Philadelphia 76ers in exchange for Danny Green, Tony Bradley, Terrence Ferguson in a 2021 draft that is in the first round that is top 8 protected. Now, we know what Victor Oladipo brings to a team. He's going to bring a two-way presence on the court. He can sometimes score on the best player and guard sometimes the best player. He's not the best at it since, you know, he has injuries and he's kind of growing, but he's still who he is. Someone who can hit big shots and at the same time defend the best player against your opposing team. Ben McLemore is the cherry on top of this trade because he is a sharpshooter. Nothing more, nothing less. He's not going to be asked to do anything but just shoot the goddamn ball, and we know how Joel Embiid is effective with shooters like Ben McLemore. For the Rockets, they're going to get a first rounder that will probably end in the late 20s and getting 2 young players. That is the main assets that they're going to get from this package. With Danny Green, he's just going to be there because he's going to be there. But with Terrence Ferguson and Tony Bradley, they can develop those guys. They can focus on the future, and really the first rounder, they can use it in drafting a really good player. Trade number 2 that I have on my list is Harrison Barnes and Glenn Robinson III in exchange for Shake Milton, Danny Green, Mike Scott, and 2 second rounders. We all know the same thing could be said with Harrison Barnes. Whatever Oladipo brings to the table, Barnes pretty much brings the same thing. However, what makes Barnes different from Oladipo is versatility and championship experience. He knows what it feels to be on top, and he knows how it feels to choke a 3-1 lead in the finals as the top 5 player in a very, very good championship team. And if you ask me personally, looking at his numbers and looking at some of these highlights, He is definitely having one of his best seasons in his NBA career. And the reason for that is because of his versatility. We know that Harrison Barnes is a better passer than Victor Oladipo. He might not be a better scorer, but he is probably a better shooter and a better passer. And when it comes to defense, although he's not as good as Victor Oladipo, he's kind of a tier or like a little bit worse than Victor Oladipo, but still worth pulling a trade for. Now, when it comes to the Sacramento Kings, they're going to get most important asset, Shake Milton. They're gonna get Danny Green. They're gonna get Mike Scott. They're gonna get second rounders. That isn't really the most important. It's Shake Milton. Shake Milton will decide if this trade is a winner or a loser. Because Harrison Barnes, as I said, he is a good player. However, Shake Milton is one of the best shooting young players that you can find in this league. And him, besides De'Aaron Fox, not only is it a better fit, and not only will he help De'Aaron Fox spacing the floor, but also it would cheer up the Sacramento Kings to trade Buddy Hield. The third trade that I have on my list is Al-Farouq Aminu and Evan Fournier in exchange for Danny Green, Terrence Ferguson, Mike Scott, a second rounder, and a first rounder. We all know why the Philadelphia 76ers are going to do this trade. It's because they're going to get more shooting and shot creation ability from Evan Fournier. For the Orlando Magic, it is a sign for a rebuild. They're going to initiate a rebuild, and I don't think a lot of teams are going to give up a first rounder. Now you might say, yeah, they're going to give up, but I think this is one of the best pulls you can find for Evan Fournier. Now, I do see this trade possible only and just only if the Orlando Magic just decides to go all in their rebuild. If they're really committed to a rebuild, I think this trade is probably going to happen. Now, I'll admit, the next trade that I'm going to tell you guys is going to be a really huge one. It's not the best on the list, hence it's number 4, but it's still a really big one. It's going to be a 3-team trade between the Sixers, Hawks, and Cavaliers. The Sixers are going to get Kevin Love, JaVale McGee, John Collins, and a first rounder in exchange for Tobias Harris and a first rounder to the Hawks, and the Cavaliers receive Mike Scott, Tony Snell, and Bogdan Bogdanovic. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, one of their biggest weaknesses is not having wings, shooting guards, and small forwards. And with this trade, not only are they going to get rid of Kevin Love's massive contract, but they're also going to get a wing, although they're going to lose a very valuable first rounder. For the Hawks, they're going to get a star to surround with Trae Young. Danilo Gallinari has been very disappointing, and if they're really committed to reaching the playoffs this season, and they don't want to pay John Collins the amount of money that he wants, then I think it's safe to say Tobias Harris will be a huge upgrade over Danilo Gallinari and Mr. John Collins. Now for the Sixers, they're going to get 3 bigs. Now really, JaVale McGee is not really that important, but Kevin Love and John Collins are going to be important. Kevin Love could be a small ball center. He could be, one of the centers that they can have with Joel Embiid. Maybe Heck playing power forward. They can put him with Joel Embiid, and they can still space the floor. He's still a great shooter and a great rebounder. He's just not motivated really to play with the Cleveland Cavaliers. JaVale McGee, we do know what he's going to bring to the table. He's going to bring shot blocking ability and all the good stuff that comes on the defensive side. And with John Collins, it's going to be a really strange one because we know what John Collins is capable of doing. However, it is kind of a risk for Philadelphia to take him. We all know how John Collins is acting this season. He wants a bag. However, if they win it all, it could really help John Collins' case. So I think a motivated John Collins could possibly be on a Sixers team, and that could be really deadly with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. John Collins' teammates are those 2 guys who watch the hell out. Now, the inspiration for this trade is going to be the next trade that I'm going to tell you guys. It's going to be Jerami Grant in exchange for Danny Green, Matisse Thybulle, Tyrese Maxey, and 3 first-rounders. The Sixers will do this because they're going to have their bona fide star, their star that is going to score a little bit more than everybody except obviously Joel Embiid, but he's going to be a really important player, and at this point of his career he is a star no matter what you're telling me. Now with the Detroit Pistons, they're gonna get one of the best rebuilding packages they can get for Jerami Grant. They're gonna get 2 solid young players, and they're going to get 3 first-rounders. I think that's the most you can ask for Jerami Grant. Now, are the first-rounders the most valuable? No, I don't want to say so. However, Thybulle and Maxey are just so good. They're good enough to consider this trade. Thank you guys for watching this video. Before you leave, please subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss daily videos or live streams just in case. Ab signing out.